Before I begin, I would like to express my great gratitude to our fellow women and KIMEP TED Talks for giving me an extraordinary opportunity to stand before you today. To be honest, my greatest motivation and the reason for me to give that speech today is my grandmother. My grandmother has always been a symbol of resilience, courage, and strength for me. My grandmother came from a wealthy family, but at the age of 13, her father, my grandfather, passed away. And she had to climb through the life by herself only, which wasn't an easy thing to do. But through the constant fight, courage and strength and resilience, she managed to become the honored doctor of Kazakhstan, and she started successful, huge insurance company. And I'm extremely proud of her. Now, her co-workers called her Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher. And I'm kindly asking you to remember that name. This is why I stand before you today, not just talk about history, but talk about something bigger, something that defines who we are, who we choose to be, and what kind of legacy we're about to leave behind. Now let's ask ourselves, why do we admire West so much? Why do we try to look up to them? Why do you often hear words like, oh, here in America it's so good, or in Europe it's that? Why do so many people admire the West? And what makes the West so unique? Well, let me be clear that the very foundation of the West has always been about the fight for what is right, fight for progress. And this is why the very foundation of the West is built on the two principles of democracy and meritocracy. Democracy means that the rule and the will of the people govern. And meritocracy means the rule of the best, based on their merit, on their qualities, not on their gender or skin color. But the West, as Rome, wasn't built in one day. The West has developed from the times when gender girls were hunted down and burned alive, to the times when Margaret Thatcher ruled over the United Kingdom. Overseas, women in America couldn't vote until the 1920s. Women in America fought for that right. They earned that right. They were massively protesting since 1857 from the state of New York. They formed alliances, unions, associations, and state by state, they were earning their right to vote. Until in 1990, the President of the United States, Woodrow Wilson, had to support the initiative, and Congress ratified the historic 19th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States that allowed women to vote. See, this is how boundaries are broken. This is how history is made, through constant fight for what is right, no matter how hard it may be, because freedom is not free. As a result of a democracy and meritocracy, the West has given us many exemplary leaders, and one of them, Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher was born in 1925 in Greatham, England. Her father was a grocer store owner, a small business owner. He taught the value of the hard work, discipline, and responsibility to little Margaret. The words like, I cannot do this, or I will not be able to do so, were forbidden in their family. But I want to notice that she wasn't the part of some elite political dynasty. She wasn't a part of some big political establishment. So that means that she had to climb to life by herself only. She earned her chemistry degree in Oxford, and in 1946 she became the first woman to be president of Oxford's Conservative Party Association. Later she worked as research chemist, but she was rejected from a position in British chemical giant ICI, because the authority told that she was too obstinate, too headstrong, and dangerously self-opinionated woman. Later, those qualities not only determined her political destiny, but also determined the destiny of the entire nation. She got elected in 1959 in Parliament, but she wasn't satisfied with the status quo of Britain. Britain was seen as the declining power back then. But if I would say to you that her path was easy, I would be lying to you, and I don't want to lie to you. Her pathway was full of obstacles, constant challenges, and tragedies. In 1917 until 1974, she was a state secretary for education science. And it was a true challenge to her political survivability. She cut the fundings for middle schools, and as a result, milk prices going up significantly. This is why numerous amount of parents and school teachers massively boycotted her all the island and called her milk snatcher. Now that was strong. It hurt so bad that even her husband, the love of her life, advised her to end political career once and for all. But she wouldn't be called as Iron Lady in history if she left the politics just because of the one single failure. She stood strong, she continued to fight. And within the numerous amount of fights and primaries in Conservative Party, she became the leader of opposition of Her Majesty from Conservative Party, which was a risky move according to many mainstream media like Sunday Telegraph. But the one journalist saw her potential. He said, his name was Herbert Smith. He said that the recent decision of Conservative Party may lead them to glorious victory or disastrous fail. In 1979, she ran for office with a promise that she cannot bear Britain in decline. She just can't. She promised to the voters that she would end inflation, cut regulations, that she will restore British glory and economy. And in 1979, she won the elections with a 43% of people's support, and she became the first female prime minister in the history of Great Britain. Now, those times were really challenging for the United Kingdom. The unemployment was high, inflation was out of control, the regulations damaged the business climate. She stood firm on her beliefs. She tried to restore British glory. She stood firm against the Soviet Union in the Cold War alongside with her friend Ronald Reagan. But was that easy for her? No. But was she always popular? No, she wasn't. She wasn't all the time popular. In 1981, her ratings dropped to 23%. 23%, can't you believe it? The lowest approval ratings indicated among British prime ministers in the 20th century. Her economic policy was the subject of tough criticism. But during the Conservative Party conference, she responded to critics with her famous quote that later became the slogan of Thatcherism. You may turn if you want to, but the lady is not for turning. She promised to restore British glory. She was a woman of her word. This is why in 1982, Britain initiated military interference in Falkland Islands in order to return them from Argentinian occupation. I will not negotiate with the criminals or thugs. Falkland Islands belong to Britain and I want them back, said the Iron Lady. Now that was a classic Iron Lady foreign policy that she shared with her favorite prime minister and her idol, Winston Churchill, who said, when this lesson will be learned? When lesson will be learned? How many more dictators must be wooed, appeased, until we finally understand that you cannot reason with the tiger when your head is in its mouth? And Margaret Thatcher learned this lesson. This is why at the end of Reagan-Thatcher era, their biggest geopolitical enemy, Soviet Union, collapsed. And the West won the Cold War. According to BBC history ratings, she is one of the most successful British prime ministers of all time, alongside with her favorite Winston Churchill. At the age of 87, in 2013, she passed away in London. Many world leaders expressed their deep condolence, and one of them was Barack Obama and British Prime Minister David Cameron. David Cameron praised her with the words that she was the best peacetime British Prime Minister who not just led the Britain, but who saved the nation. With the passing of Margaret Thatcher, a world lost its true champion for liberty and freedom, and America lost a true friend. As the grocer's daughter who rose to become first British female prime minister, she serves as an example to all daughters that there is no glass ceiling that cannot be shattered, said the first African-American President Barack Obama. Now, it wasn't just talk about the past. It's a huge call for future. Now I gotta be completely honest with you, because nothing kills the cloud of doubts better than naked truth. And the truth is this, let me be clear. Just you are not entitled to nothing. You are entitled to nothing. America was built on the spirit that you make your own future. It isn't handed to you. Margaret Thatcher didn't hand the victory in elections. Nobody cleared the path for her. She wasn't just sitting and waiting until someone will do something for her or save the Britain. She took the responsibility on her own and saved the nation. Now, as you may see, it wasn't easy at all. Was it easy for Margaret Thatcher to wake up every morning knowing that the fate of the entire nation in her bare hands? Was it easy to Margaret Thatcher know that her single decision could either destroy or save Great Britain? It wasn't easy at all. This is why I don't promise you an easy way neither. We want to achieve the things not because they are easy, but because they are hard, said John F. Kennedy. And he's completely right. Because the truth is this, that you are going to suffer anyway. It's inevitable in this life. But you can choose what kind of pain you want to suffer. Do you want to suffer from the difficulties of the hard work, discipline, and responsibility, or you want to suffer from nothing doing at all, of lack of actions, which is called a regret. And let me be honest with you, the pain that coming from regret is the most painful one. For those of us climbing at the top of the food chain, there can be no mercy. There is only one but rule: hunt or be hunted. This is why the President of the United States, Barack Obama, said that our founding fathers wrote that all men and women are created equal, with unalienable rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. While these truths are self-evident, they have never been self-executed. While our Constitution is a remarkable and beautiful gift, on its alone, it has no power. On its alone, it's just a piece of paper. It's we, the people, who give it the power. It's you, the people, who give it power. It's you, the people, who can take this power away. It's you, the people, who can break the boundaries. It's you, the people, who make a history. You and I, as United citizens, we have a right to determine our future. But we have a huge promise to our generations. What kind of future do we want to leave behind? Now, I understand that a lot of you suffered along this life. I don't know exactly what you've been through right now. I don't know what kind of difficulties in your way right now. But what I do know, I know that right now I see so many future Margaret Thatchers. I see so many Iron Ladies. I see so many future prime ministers and presidents, and I see so many future CEOs and leaders. And if our generation will help to our young women to be the person they want, the leaders they want, and achieve their dreams, that I am confident that we are on the right pathway of history. And then, no matter what part of earth we call home, we all be better off. And for those who are still in doubt or in a cloud of fear, and they're afraid that they cannot do something or they will not be able to do something, I have only 3 things for you to say. Yes, you can. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the Republic of Kazakhstan.